Hey there. When it comes to the disciplines of the mind, whether it be meditation, contemplation, or ritual, or even some form of study, if you're trying to memorize and understand something, whether you're learning a language or mastering any form of art that involves ongoing focused awareness, you will find certain periods of plateau. You're putting in the effort, you're putting in the time, but there's no discernible improvement. If you persist, normally this plateau will disappear and your ascent and improvement will start again. Your consciousness will be evolving. However, for some people, this plateau can get a bit stuck and it becomes the new norm. Even when they do make some progress, it's temporary, and no matter how hard they try, they can't get things evolving again. When this happens, this is a clear sign that something needs to change, either in their approach to the subject or, more often, how they're living their life. Now, if you've seen some of my other videos, you're probably already aware of the need for a balanced and healthy lifestyle in order to keep progress in any art. Making sure you're sleeping enough, making sure your body's healthy, you're eating the right food, you've got enough rest and downtime. But in this video, I'd like to cover one other factor that could be holding you back and getting in the way of your progress. And it's something very subtle that's quite hard for most people to pick up on. Now, it may be a subtle influence, but it's an easy concept to understand. And I call it mental processing overload. We've all done something which is comparable to this on our computer. We've all set the computer too many missions for it to be able to keep up. We start downloading something or doing a scan or some other form of really seriously dedicated mission. And during that time, the computer, its CPU, it's got a limited processing capacity. It's trying to do multiple things at once. And because its focus is divided, it makes it even worse. And we click on something, it doesn't open. So after 3 seconds of waiting, we click on something else. And what we're doing is we're creating a circumstance where the computer isn't working to its optimum because we've given it too much to do. Our minds are like this. You've probably noticed that there's a number of automatic processes that take place. When you see something really surprising or emotional or concerning, you'll run over it for a few days as your mental filing system and planning system puts things in place. If there's uncertainty, we might start thinking about how we'd adapt to that uncertainty. If there's opportunity, we start planning for those opportunities. You probably notice there are mechanisms in place where we just file things away that we've seen and we've heard, whether we just like to sit there and let our mind just mull over things, or we want to talk our day out with someone. We have natural filing systems going on. We have natural adaptations within the mind. This also applies to information. If we're learning new things, our mind needs to have time to adapt to this stimulus. Now, in the modern life, we have other things which our ancestors didn't have to deal with. We don't have to go back very far for the idea of a mobile phone where you can just phone someone at any point as you walk along to be a very strange idea. In addition to that, modern phones and computers, they're all set up to get your attention. You're going to get an alert when there's a sale, whether it's an app or an email. You're going to get information, whether it's news or entertainment. You're going to have instant messages, updates telling you whether people are liking something you're doing or commenting on something you've shared or what they're doing. We know far more about what our friends are doing than any other time. You can just see it there. It's quite amazing. But all this information, which is getting in the way every day, it's interrupting us, needs processing. And in addition to that, we have music with words which we may not be paying attention to, but our deep mind, our subconscious has to process everywhere. We have flashing images and advertising and entertainment and news. It's just piped to us all day, every day. And then after a whole day of this huge amount of information input and processing, we've been disturbed and never really managed to focus on anything. Our mind is trained to be scattered and zap around the place. We want it to settle and do something which is disciplined and focused. Well, all this processing is going on, and your mind will try to take that opportunity to just balance everything up. It's maybe seen some things, it's maybe got a lot of information. It's just trying to work out what's true, what isn't, where to respond to things, where to put them in the memory. Just think, a few generations ago, you'd have to seek out music to hear it. Your entertainment would be planned and savoured and rare. The news would be something you'd once again have to do something to get. And the information that you were processing would be far easier to understand. You'd be talking to someone who was telling you about their life. You'd be far more detached from things and have a lot more space. So if you are finding that your training isn't going in the direction that you'd want it to, try really cutting down on your stimulus. And I mean all forms of stimulus. Just lower the processing. Answer your messages just once a day. Cut your entertainment to those things which are very, very valuable and inspiring. Let go of the need to be up to date with celebrities or news in specific areas. Make sure you only know the essentials that you need to know to be able to adapt to your environment and to the world. Give yourself a few weeks of this just for your mind to catch up, so it's got some extra processing power to do what you've been asking it to do. So it's got some extra adaptive ability to cultivate excellence in whatever field you've been applying yourself. My name is Martin Folks, and I hope that this video is of use to anyone who maybe is taking on too much information, too many images, and not managing to move forwards, and spends their practice times clicking, but nothing's opening. Until next time, let's make every word, thought, and action count.